In the headlines, Supreme Court reverses judgment on 2022 Electoral Act. Governor Soludo imposes curfew in 8 local government areas in Anambra State. Families of abducted Abuja-Kaduna passengers beg governments to listen as terrorists threaten killing of captives. Former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan wants governments to set new elections in 6 days. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome. The Supreme Court on Thursday reserved judgment in the suit filed by President Muhammadu Buhari and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, to void the provisions of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act 2022. The court will announce a date to the parties involved. On May 19th, the Apex Court admitted an application filed by Rivers State to be joined in the suit. Justice Musa Dattijo, who led the 7-member panel of the justices of the Apex Court, allowed the joinder application that Rivers brought through the Speaker of its House of Assembly and its Attorney General and adjourned the hearing on the suit until May 26. The applicants told the court that they were opposed to the suit, which originally had the National Assembly as the sole respondent. President Buhari and Malami filed a suit at the Supreme Court seeking an interpretation of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Amendment Act 2022. They are seeking an order of the Apex Court to strike out the section of the Electoral Act, saying it is inconsistent with the nation's constitution. Governor Soludo has imposed dusk to dawn curfew for commercial motorcycle riders, shuttle buses and tricycle riders in 8 local government areas of Anambra State, effective Monday, 30th May 2022. Governor Soludo, who was speaking during a statewide radio and television broadcast, said security is foundational in the efforts of his administration to enthrone a livable and prosperous state. The local government areas include Agwata, Ihiala, Ekosigu, Nnewi North and South, Ogbaru, as well as Orumba North and South.
Friday, the 26th day of May, a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew is hereby placed on motorcycles, Okada, tricycles, keke, and shuttle buses in the following 8 local governments: Agwata, Ihiala, Ekosigu, Nnewi North, Nnewi South, Ogbaru, Orumba North and South local governments until further notice. We will review this and say whether we then extend it to the rest of the state. But let's start with this, if you like, the red local governments. Until further notice also, motorcycles, keke and shuttle buses are banned from operating in these local governments on Mondays until the sit-at-home completely stops.
President Muhammadu Buhari has warned those killing innocent people in the southeast to expect a tough response from security forces. He condemned the viral video circulating of innocent people being killed, describing it as wild and barbarous. The presidency also cautioned against the indiscriminate sharing of posts that can incite violence on social media. President Buhari's response comes a few days after gunmen killed at least 12 people, including a pregnant woman and her 4 children in Anambra State. A community leader said the pregnant woman and her children were returning home on a motorcycle taxi when gunmen ambushed them in the Orumba area of the state. The same situation occurred after gunmen beheaded a lawmaker in the state, Okechukwu Okoye. Families of abducted passengers of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack have appealed to the government to release the children of the abductors of their relatives from detention so that the terrorists can in turn release the passengers in captivity. In a video released by the abductors, government has been giving a 7-day ultimatum to release their children or the 62 passengers will be killed. The report.
At a press briefing Wednesday morning, the relatives of the victims said they are ready to take the children of the terrorists to the forest if only government can do the needful to save their loved ones.
We, the families of AK9 Abuja-Kaduna train abducted passengers, woke up yesterday to the sad reality of a recorded audio tape from the abductors of our family members. In the reference audio tape, was some highly disturbing information. And since then, life has not been the same with us. It is exactly 58 days since our loved ones were captured, and 23 days after Mr. President issued a directive to security agencies for their immediate and safe rescue. We are still anxiously waiting for a positive outcome of rescue efforts. We are appealing to the abductors of our family members to show compassion to them as fellow Nigerians.
What they are saying is that there are eight children, which we have the names, and which they said in that audio, then Yola, they should be brought down to Kaduna here, and if the government cannot take the children there, they should give us the responsibility. We will take the children personally to them in the forest, so that we can get our loved ones out.
The relatives, who say they are now communicating directly with the terrorists, want government to release their abductors' 8 children to ensure the safe return of their own relatives.
The good news we have is that those that abducted our loved ones are speaking to us directly. So what you are hearing from me, it's unadulterated. They sent a video to us. We had actually asked them the list of the children, their children they wanted. They sent that to us. So as far as I'm concerned, we are building confidence between us and them. For now, I don't have any reason to doubt them, because we have 62 people there. We want them out. The government should take their responsibility serious.
The audio was really, really terrifying, because I almost crashed down after listening to that audio. It's not easy. That was a big, terrible horror for me in my whole life. I have never experienced such thing in my life.
People, all we are saying, bring back our people.
Nigerians are still waiting the release of the train attack victims, but the question many are asking is whether government will facilitate the release of the victims before the expiration of the 7 days ultimatum given by the terrorist. Lami Sadiq for Trust TV News.
There you go. Now, former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, has withdrawn from the contest for the presidential ticket of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. He announced his withdrawal from the party's primary in a letter dated May 24th and addressed to the national chairman of the main opposition party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu. Besides pulling out of the contest for the party's presidential ticket barely 3 days to the exercise, the presidential aspirant also announced his resignation from the PDP. He explained that he took the decision to leave the party because of his firm commitment to rescue Nigeria, even if the route differs. The presidential aspirant informed the PDP chairman that he has since conveyed his resignation and withdrawal from the primary to the chairman of Agulu Ward 2, his ward in Anaucha local government area of Anambra State. Former Minister of Information and Communication Aliyu Bilbis has emerged the candidate of the People's Democratic Party PDP for Zamfara's Central Senatorial District. Bilbis polled 114 votes to beat 2 other aspirants at the primaries to clinch the ticket. The report.
4 aspirants were billed to contest primary election for the Zamfara Central Senatorial District, but one of the aspirants stepped down few hours to the exercise, leaving 3 aspirants to participate in the exercise. The 3 aspirants were Lawal Barrow, Naalla Mayana, and Senator Aliyu Bilbis. Bilbis polled 114 votes, Naalla 2 votes, while Lawali Barrow Bungudu polled 17 votes. The chairman of the PDP committee for the senatorial primaries in Zamfara State, Kabiru Usman, announced the results after the conclusion of the exercise in the state.
We have just finished conducting the primaries for 4 aspirants, namely Dr. Naalla Isa Mayana, Alhaji Lawal Barrow Bungudu, Hajia Saadatu Kasimu, and Ikra Aliyu Bilbis. But we were informed that Hajia Saadatu Kasimu, she withdrew from the contest.
Meanwhile, Colonel Bala Mande, retired, emerged as the PDP candidate for Zamfara North Senatorial Zone through consensus arrangement, while Bello S. Fagon was elected as candidate for the PDP in Zamfara West Senatorial Zone through consensus. Aliu Bilbis, while reacting to his victory, expressed optimism the PDP will win the election with the support of the people.
I still believe that I thank Almighty Allah for giving me this great opportunity and great acceptance from my members of my party to, let me say, voted for me to win my primary election. I know it was heavily contested, and as God who had it, I became victorious.
134 were expected to vote in the primary election, but one was absent. The PDP Senate primaries was conducted in the presence of security agents, representatives of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the media.
The new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, says it has so far surpassed 11 million membership drive and is poised to displace the two dominant political parties in the country. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Akbar Major, who gave the hint in an exclusive interview with Trust TV Shafiu Suleiman, also speaks on the party's level of preparedness ahead of the 2023 elections.
Very little is known about the 21-year-old political party until recently, when it displaced PDP as opposition party in Kano, with gale of defection from both APC and PDP of prominent politicians into its fold, though not much visible due to limited resources at its disposal. But it survives the access of two electoral umpires, Professor Tahiru Jega and his successor, Mahmoud Yakubu.
So that the party is alive today, I don't need to tell you deeper, but you should know that the party has done all that was possible within the resources available to it to have been able to, scale through all those processes.
The NNPP is coming to limelight courtesy of its adoption by the former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Musa Konkoso, in his bid to have a platform to showcase his grassroots political appeal.
The man is a household name, not just in Kano, but all over the Federation. At least you've seen him move around the country. And the other day I was just wondering, in Edo State, Benin, getting out of the airport terminal building was a problem.
As it consolidates on the ongoing mass mobilization ahead of a crucial general election, the NNPP is hoping to wrestle power from the incumbent APC.
It's the desire, the crave for Nigerians to have a new order. What is on the lips of every Nigerian is a new Nigeria. We're tired. Look at the country of how many years? How many years in democracy? This one that we're experiencing now uninterrupted, about 20-something years now. And then Nigerians have nothing to show for it.
But the task before it is to gain acceptance and popularity beyond its current stronghold, pull as much political gladiators as it can to garner the needed financial muscle to compete against the established dominant parties to secure the required victory. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up, how Sokoto government supports fish farmers. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update. Our top stories. Supreme Court reverses judgment on 2022 Electoral Act. Governor Soludo imposes curfew in 8 local government areas in Anambra State. In other news, the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria has raised alarm over the refusal of some state governments to settle several months of salary and other emoluments owed workers, especially Abia and Ondo State. The president of MDCAN, Victor Makonjola, who read the communique issued after the NEC meeting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, stated that there is the need to increase retirement age of health workers as part of efforts to stop mass exodus of Nigerian doctors to other countries.
In the past 2 years, we're already beginning to feel the burden of this on those who are still in the system. And if all these steps we mentioned earlier, increasing payment, increasing remuneration of our clinical lecturers is not done, if we do not increase the retirement age of consultants in the system, more people are bound to leave the system. And we're facing an imminent collapse with regards to specialist care in the country.
The Kwara State Primary Health Care Development Agency has taken delivery of 500 hospital beds and beddings to boost healthcare system in the state. This is coming as the state has equally scaled up its dental and eye care centers with modern equipment. The report.
The 500 hospital beds with their accessories were supplied to the Kwara Primary Healthcare Development Agency by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals. This follows the commitment of the Kwara State government in meeting the requirement for the supply.
His commitment to the primary healthcare sector in the state, because not every state was qualified for this intervention, for this support from the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, because they're actually watching, and then they're very, if the state is proactive, if the governor is proactive, then they're encouraged to support proactive governors.
The Executive Secretary of the Kwara State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Nusirat Elelu, promised to ensure equitable distribution of the supply.
Right now, we have already asked local governments to generate a list of facilities so that we can identify the gaps of the bed requirements in each of the facilities. Although we can't go, we can't meet all the needs. About 1,600 beds were requested for, of which we are going to see how we can judiciously and equitably, based on needs, distribute those beds to the health facilities.
In the meantime, the Kwara State Hospital Management Bureau has commenced the refurbishment of the dental clinic and eye care center at the General Hospital in Ilorin. The Bureau says the quality of equipment has now made the facility one of the best in northern Nigeria.
What we have also done in addition to having the center is just there as a building, but what is also critical are the equipment that you have in there. So we now have ultra-modern equipment, dental chairs that are of highest quality, the standard that can meet any private hospitals or any private dental institution indeed in the country, can compete favorably.
I would say the facility here is second to none in Kwara State as a whole. And of course, in North Central, apart from the National Eye Center, I think this is a facility that will be second. So, and of course, since we moved into this facility, we've enjoyed a lot of support from government, apart from, giving us the structure. We've also had support of, equipment-wise.
Patronage has improved since the upgrade of dental clinic and the eye care centers.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has postponed the trial of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, till June 28. The court had on March 18 slated Thursday to continue proceedings on the treasonable felony charge the federal government preferred against Kanu. However, the lead counsel for the IPOB leader, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who was head of the defendant's legal team, in a statement on Wednesday disclosed that the case would no longer proceed as earlier scheduled. Moving on, according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, roughly 32% of world fish stocks are overexploited, depleted or recovering and need urgent rebuilding. In Sokoto State, government says it is working to change the narrative by supporting fish farmers to enhance productivity as part of the State Fisheries Development Program. Idris Jibril, who visited some of the water bodies and fish farms, now reports.
Fish farming is a form of agriculture in which fish are raised in enclosures to be sold as food. In Sokoto State, it is the fastest growing area of animal food production.
In the areas of fisheries development, this is an area that has been neglected before. But as I'm telling you now, the state government is well repositioning that sector. We have realized that our fishermen depend naturally on the natural fish they find in these waters. And these are being depleted. So the state government decided to restock these rivers and lakes.
Across the state, water bodies are being restocked with over 1 million high premium fish, in addition to the distribution of fishing boats to fishermen as part of efforts to enhance productivity.
The fish actually will have two sub-components. We have artisanal and we have the culture fisheries. When I say artisanal, it means just fishing on the river. While other culture, it means fish farming. So there are some understanding or some cooperation between our ministry and this category of farmers and the fishermen.
To fully sustain the program, fish farmers across the state are also being encouraged to grow further in their businesses by providing them with loans and other professional advice on how to effectively manage their farms.
Prior to this moment, we had very few, 2 or 3 fish farms in the state. It's now over 1,000. So you can imagine the phenomenal increase from 3 or 4 to about 1,000. Farms, yes. Some are big, some are medium, some are small, some are homesteads. And within this period, we were able to mobilize a lot of people, a lot of youths, a lot of women in Pada, that is those that I kept as housewives, were able to support their activities.
While fish farmers continue to record considerable gain owing to the state government various intervention program, it is hoped that such gesture will be replicated to further enhance fish production across the state. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Sokoto.
Now, Nigeria and Ethiopia have concluded arrangements to hold a joint ministerial commission meeting in Addis Ababa next month to discuss areas of bilateral relationship and exchange perspectives on issues of mutual interest. This came to the fore as President Muhammadu Buhari hosted the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, to a state visit and a presidential lunch attended by the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, and Ethiopian First Lady Zinash Tayachu in State House Abuja on Wednesday. The major outcome of the visit is the desire of both countries to take concrete steps to expand bilateral relations in key areas including the economy, trade, science and technology, solid minerals, among others. Nigeria's ambassador to Ethiopia, Victor Adeleke, spoke on the essence of the visit and the burgeoning state of relations between both countries.
We're working together, especially we soon be convening the Joint Ministerial Commission to discuss various areas of relationship which will be beneficial to both countries. This is just the cracking. We have been engaging. We'll continue to engage. Nigerian officials are heading to Addis Ababa in June to discuss various areas of relationship, political, economic, science and technology, mines, industries.
There's a group of 4 countries that traditionally have sort of been the engine of the African continent. That has been Ethiopia, Nigeria, South Africa, and Algeria. And so there's also a move to revive the G4, of these 4 countries that really can act as, the real dynamo, the real engine for African development, and also act as a unifying force, trying to bring other African countries together.
Now on the foreign scene, former Prime Minister Imran Khan has warned Pakistan's government to set new elections in the next 6 days, or he will again march on the capital along with millions of people. Khan spoke at a rally of thousands of demonstrators early Thursday morning in Islamabad, aiming to bring down the government and force early elections. The government earlier had summoned troops to guard important buildings, including the parliament and offices of the President and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The measures came following clashes between Khan supporters and police. There was no immediate comment from the government about Khan's claims. And in sports, following Nigeria's decision to withdraw from international events for 2 years, World Basketball Governing Body, FIBA, has threatened punishment against Nigeria. FIBA says Nigeria could face sanctions because of the withdrawal, citing Article 9 and 7 of FIBA's General Statutes, which states that national member federations shall handle their business freely and without third-party influence. According to FIBA, Nigeria in the coming months is due to participate in the FIBA 2023 Basketball World Cup qualifiers and FIBA 2022 Women's Basketball World Cup. Non-participation in the said events could mean a withdrawal from Paris 2024 Olympic qualification process. Similarly, depending on third-party results, the same situation could apply with respect to FIBA Afro Basketball 2025. Any withdrawal of Nigeria from the earlier mentioned competitions would trigger potential disciplinary sanctions as per the FIBA international regulations. And with sports, we wrap up news updates at this hour. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.